And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Fawcett. I'm touching base with you as I always do.
Hey,
And
good
how
morning,
are
Ron.
you? And I'm with my buddy Chris. What's going on,
Good
Chris?
morning. None, we're here. It's a Friday, end of the week already. I feel like we get here so fast.
It's happened. It's like I have never seen things. I mean, it's just moved so fast. It's ridiculous. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
they say as we get older, time moves faster. So I don't know what's that saying. Are we getting older?
We're getting older, sir. We are getting older. And man, I just can't. It's just like time is just flying by.
It
It's like,
is. It
it's
is.
crazy. Anyway, what are you up to today, sir?
So I've got all my regular Friday stuff done already. I got it done yesterday. Because I want to have an easier Friday. Because typically Fridays are like really crazy. And by the end of the day, I'm exhausted. And typically I'm in bed sleep by like 9:30, which is kind of sad to say. But um, all that stuff is done, so I can relax just a little bit today. After I'm done with this, as I mentioned to you off camera, I'm actually filming right now some behind the scenes of how we put on this show. So I'd like to hopefully get that up over the weekend. I've got a couple cameras on me. There's one back there. You see that little red flashing light right there? That's a camera.
Hmm.
I've got two cameras on me on either side, and then of course the one that I'm talking to you through. So I record the whole process of actually coming into the room, turning the lights on, getting all the monitors set up, miking myself, and our pre-show conversation. So all that's there. So this should
You
be
see how
interesting.
now you guys, this is the difference between myself and Chris. I just try to keep it as basic as possible. And Chris is the technical mastermind. If
I
if
like
there
that
was a
stuff.
if we had a production studio, that would be Chris's total function to make sure
Yeah.
operations is working the way it needs to work. This is the man that I met years ago that totally captured my fascination because he was roaming around New York City with a tripod in his bag, his camera, and then would leave work
Yeah.
and then go to different places in the city and then set up his tripod and do a personal photo shoot of himself in different locations around the city. This guy
I
is
mean, yeah, I actually used to do that, which was kind of crazy because when I first started doing that, though, it was very awkward. I felt funny doing it, especially when people are walking by and asking, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing photography of myself because, you know, who else is going to do it? And the other thing too, in addition to that, I would always bring my tripod and stuff like that into the city. And after work, I would just roam the city and photograph different places. Buildings, sunsets, sunrise. Sometimes we can get in the city early and do sunrises. And
Mhm.
I've used to do photo shoots on the ferries, photographing the city that way. So I kind of miss that stuff. And I was saying I need to get back into it. And honestly, you know who's been inspiring me a lot lately? Mr. Reginald Nash, our friend Rex. If he's on here listening, shout out to you, Rex. He's been posting a lot of his daily walks through DC
Oh,
and even like
really?
his vacation. Yeah, he has a separate page just for that he puts that stuff on, and then he does it in his stories a lot. But it reminds me of years going by where I used to do that. So I want to try to get back into that a little bit, not as frequent as I used to. So that was like a weekly thing. I would do it at least 2, 3 times a week. But anyway, let's get to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm a little tired. I slept in a little bit this morning, and that was because I stayed up so late. I fell asleep on the sofa. It, I hate when I fall asleep on the sofa. It is the worst place to fall asleep. And because you're kind of like in an awkward position, and then you wake up with a cramp in your neck, and you get or your lower back, or whatever the case may be. And
So
I am trying to make sure that as soon as I feel sleep coming on, get
You
up
get
and
up.
go to bed, go into the bedroom.
Listen,
And
can I say
horrible.
I'm guilty of that, but I have one saving grace.
Your
At a certain
husband.
point, if I'm not in a room, yeah, like around after midnight, and like he'll get up, whatever, he knows I'm not there. He's like, "All right, come to bed," and I didn't even know I fell asleep. And if I'm
Yeah.
not in, if I'm not in the living room watching TV, I'm in here on the couch watching TV or something. He'll be like, yeah, come to bed." So
It
yeah,
is
I get it
horrible.
though.
It is a horrible thing. And that is why a significant other is so important. Because again,
Forces
it's that
you.
if you fall asleep, they're like, so back in the day, it would be you're on the sleep, you're asleep on the sofa. What's going on?
Wait, no, I'm not. Now, see me, I'm not gonna front. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm a liar. When I'm sleeping, I'm a liar. I could
Mm,
be sleeping, snoring, mouth open, and then he'll
yes,
look at
I'm
me,
not
and I'm
asleep.
like,
I'm
I'm
not
not
asleep.
asleep. He just smiles. I mean, we take it as a joke because we know.
Why do men do that? Why do we men
I
do
don't know.
that?
I've
We
done that since I was I've done that since I was a little kid. Since a little kid, I've been doing it. No, I'm not
it's like
asleep.
you're falling asleep. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And you are snoring. My brother, same thing. He'd be like, and then next thing you know, I said, Neil, you need to go to sleep. You're knocked out. No, no, no. I ain't sleep. I
Yeah.
ain't sleep. I ain't sleep. One time we were on a family, we were just hanging out online. We were on
Mhm.
what do you call it, FaceTiming. And we are all talking, and it's my our adopted older brother from church, and the three of us will be on this call, and then next thing you know, we're saying, Neil, go to bed. He go, no, 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 I'm fine, I'm fine. And then next thing you know, and then we're like, Neil, wake up. And he's like, no, no, I'm not sleepy. I wasn't asleep. I don't know. I know it's
Yeah.
a male thing. I know a lot of my friends growing up. I very rarely have had. I don't think none of my women friends say that.
Do that.
It's only men. It's only us.
I don't know.
It's only
I've
us.
been doing it
And
since
my
I was a little kid.
oh my gosh.
I used to get in
And
trouble as a little kid with my grandmother for that. Like, I told you to go inside, and I'm like sitting outside in the chair sleeping because I can fall asleep anywhere. I have
anyway,
fallen asleep standing up in the shower before.
let's say hello to some folks. Hannah's the first person in the building. She says, "Good morning, Ron and Chris and Touch Base Daily family." And then we got in second place today is Chris R. Chris, bingo player, a fun person in the building. She says, "Good morning." Danette is in the building. Whoa, number 3. She gets the bronze this morning. Good morning, everyone. She says, good morning. And then we got the love between everyone else with all the love. Then we got the wonderful G.R. Houston Jack. She's in the building and she's in the back studio. Getting
Okay,
ready to
okay.
come out. And
Ready to have another
she's a
heated
lady.
Friday.
Oh, we're gonna have a nice Friday. I mean, there's so much to talk about. And I see all the love between y'all. And there's Mr. Bryson. What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Happy Will Smith Day. Happy Ariana Grande Friday. Welcome to the weekend. I love Bryson. Bryson, you are loved. You are loved, brother. Cass is in the building. She says, blessed and happy Friday. And Elise is in the building and she's in the back. She says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And I see all the love between you guys. All the love. Yeah, I'm just gonna put these up on the screen. I want the audience and the people that are not here or like hanging out on Instagram. Y'all are missing out on the love fest. You see the love fest that goes on in this. Well, the YouTubers, we are on point. Look at that. Look at all the love that is being exchanged. You're missing out when you are on the other platforms, but we're just there so you can just know we're here. So if you're in Instagram, pop up on Ron Lewis
Yeah,
Photos.
come on over.
YouTube. Come on over, baby. Come on
It's definitely a
over.
better experience. You get a
Look at
bigger
all the
view,
love.
and you get to see everyone in the chat.
Look at all this love. Look at all the love to each other. Look at them. I mean, look at the love. Y'all missing out. If you want to love, if you want some love, this is the community. This is the community.
Yeah.
Elise says, my husband does that. What does the husband do? Oh, the sleep thing. The sleep thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Bryson said, how's it going, Hannah? Look at the love fest. People checking each other.
That's what I love about this. Like everyone, comes in and just says hello to everyone because everyone's gotten a chance to really know each other through this.
Yes. Look at all of the love. I'm just going through all of them just so you folks that are over in Instagram or in these other platforms, or you're in these online streets. Here we are. Look at all of this love that's going in exchange. I feel so blessed that we have a community. We have a community. Look at this. Look at all the love. Kimmy Kim is in the building. She says, hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Bryson says, absolutely. Disava's in the building. She says, happy Friday. Look at all the love. Look at all that love. You're missing out. You're missing out. Okay, let me see who's over in Instagram. Let me see who the rebels are. The rebels in Instagram. Oh, there's only 2 rebels over there. Everyone else is here. Our photography is over there. Jay Dynamo is over there. Come on over to our YouTube channel. It makes all the difference. Okay, Chris, what's first? Well, first, let's bring the ladies on. Let's bring the ladies on. There she is. Fire. Miss Gwendolyn
Good
Fire.
morning. Come on, lady.
Your name should be Fire.
You know, I keep asking myself, I don't know what life you've lived, Ron. I know we've known each other for a very long time, but I'm thinking
a long time now. You've been my work wife.
It's a guy thing. Like Chris, I don't know how many times I have said, I'm not asleep. I'm just resting my eyes.
Oh,
you know,
that's one I use too.
People like 5 or 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what do you mean guy thing? It's a sleeping thing. It's I don't want to tell folks I was snoring.
I may
even though they can hear you.
That's what I said.
Right? You may be wrong. I am telling you, as the person who is your work wife, you are wrong, sir. Because I do it.
She's picking up where she left off yesterday.
Yeah, she's fire. She's fire.
My husband said, he was like, you're asleep. I said, wait, was that me? I said, are you sure? He's like, I just heard you snore. I was like, are you positive? He was like,
and you heard yourself. And you heard yourself. And you said,
no, that's the worst. When you hear yourself, then you know it's bad.
Yeah, sometimes I hear myself.
You up.
Who's that? But see, it's very rare that we're in the same room where you fall asleep, Gwendolyn.
You and I, well, it should be. I'm a married woman, Ron.
So we ain't never.
I'm scandalous. Scandalous.
Like,
is this the new scandal?
Now, don't forget. Now, Gwendolyn used to hang out here at the house, and she never. Hey, Gwendolyn is usually like alert, and the girl has always been on fire. There's a reason why she is the Black Power Bunny. That when she gave her name, that was not. Now that's called self-awareness. On steroids, because that is who she really is. She is a true Black Power Bunny. She'll keep going until nature says stop.
Pass out.
Yeah. If I'm in the city, we're not coming back till 3-4 in the morning.
Oh, she is loud. One time she was in the city. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to Times Square. I'm going to hang out in Times Square."
Oh, you know what? I want to go to Times Square and photograph at night. I love doing that. The energy there is amazing. Oh,
yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I think the next time I come up, I'm going to do it.
We're doing our next meetup in April, the 4th week of April. You know, we do our meetup every 4th Saturday of the month at 2:00. we will be in Times Square for April. So April, we
look at
will
that.
be in Times Square photographing the people and every started this year. Every meetup is a theme. So we have an assignment.
Oh.
So this assignment is going to be make us feel like you're a part of the entertainment.
Oh, that's
your viewer feel like you're a part of the entertainment. Now, for those that have never been to Times Square, you are missing out on something that's interesting and very specific to Times Square. There's all kinds of activities going on. People from all walks of life, all mental capacities. And when I say that, I'm saying that in a gentle way.
No, that's a good assessment of it.
The mindset of the people in Times Square. I mean, sometimes you are in fear. You may like, oh, maybe not go there. Maybe not go next to that person, But what's great as a photographer being in Times Square is it keeps you alert and alive.
Yes.
So if there's no way you could be bored as a photographer, and especially a street photographer, and be in Times Square. Times Square is like a smorgasbord of humanity. And it's just so much fun. Yes. Anyway, Elise, what's going on with you, my dear?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
The sleep things were funny. My husband has fallen asleep standing in the kitchen door frame. And of course it was. Tired. I wasn't asleep. I wasn't asleep.
That's tired.
Now, Elise, do you fall asleep and then say, I'm not asleep?
Oh no. If he said you fell asleep, I said, I know.
See, there we go. I'm curious. So now I'm curious.
Never denied sleeping.
This question is for the ladies in the house. Do you admit to falling asleep when you are asleep, when someone tells you you fell asleep? Or do you deny? I want to know. In the chat, please tell me.
Deny.
Are you a denier? Are you a denier that I was just closing my eyes? I was just resting my eyelids.
That was not me. I had a sister who would do that. My older sister used to do that. She'd say, I was just resting my eyes. But the interesting thing about her, if you were in a conversation,
Hannah said
she'll continue the conversation and be on time. But you knew she was sleeping, but she was listening somehow.
That's a skill.
That's a skill for real.
Mm-hmm.
B-Pro says yes, why not? Not. So I said, Timmy says not anymore.
So she's a reformed sleeper.
Oh, she's been reformed.
Reformed. Did not sleep denier.
Well, look, a lot of women. Okay, so I guess I need more women in my life. And it's not. I mean, I was raised with a whole house full of women. I had my aunts, my mom, my sister. I can take that
so many different ways.
Cousins.
I know, right?
I've had so many women in my life, and I'm like, this is a hidden secret. I didn't know.
Maybe we're the rarities, Ron. We just admit we sleep. I was like, I know I fell asleep. I heard myself.
Yes. The same says, yeah. Hey, Lisa's in the building. Yeah, Lisa, I sent you a text yesterday.
Good morning.
Checking in on you. I hope everything's went well with your brother. And just thinking of you. We were thinking about you yesterday. So Lisa, we love you. We're glad to see you. And I mean, is it interesting about the sleep? It's interesting. I learned a lot about my wonderful community here. I know that. Look at Gwendolyn's face. Gwendolyn's face tells me Gwendolyn can speak to me without words.
That's art.
That's art.
Let me tell you real quick. It is art. People talk about communication and speaking, being able to be aware of your facial expressions and how to use them to really convey a message. Woo! Oh, I got that bitch down.
I gotta be careful sometimes because my face says everything.
We could be anywhere, and I look over at Gwendolyn and I see her, I know. I'm like, oh, dog it. Or even when I'm on here, I look at when I'm saying something, I look at Gwendolyn's face. I say, ooh, done dug yourself in a hole.
Look, I tell people that's a special skill set that especially Black women possess.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I could be in a room full of kids, 30 kids, and do one look, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, we need to stop." Something's going on.
They be like, Miss Elise don't
Yeah.
Miss Elise.
They like, look, no, they call me Mrs. Stallworth. They like, nope, we need to stop because something's going on.
Yeah.
Yes,
Get quiet and start looking around.
Oh my gosh! I remember when I was in church. That used to be the thing in church. I used to be in the choir. Back in when I was 13, 14, 15 years old. I was in the church choir, and there was an older woman that used to kind of like monitor us besides the choir directress, and we would act up, because you know how kids are. We would act up, and all she did was go, and we were like,
all it takes.
All she did was go this way, and we all looked at, and we all
and you better know when you get that look,
because back in the day, not like today, they would go tell your mama. They will tell your mama, and not only that, they will drag you out, say, "Come here, come here," and they'll pull you to the back of the church or outside into the lobby.
That's what's wrong with the world today. You don't have people like that anymore.
Right. My last job, I had 550 kids as an AP.
Wow.
And I did lunch duty. I had to do lunch duty, so you got on the mic. If they were not listening, I would just stop talking and start looking around the whole room. It would be a ripple effect. Everybody started getting quiet. Like, she stopped talking, y'all.
I had teachers like you growing up.
Yes. Oh my God.
I wasn't gonna waste my breath.
Don't say, and people like Elise would say, "Don't make me speak twice."
Absolutely.
Don't
do it.
Don't make me speak twice. I used to get that all the time. Man, okay, so let's talk about a little what's going on in the news today. I see Derek is in the building. He says, I can have the resting bee face at times, ROFL. Excuse me. But right now, there's a whole lot going on, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned about this case that's happened, and it's happening more regular around the country to these college students and these young folks. And I am concerned because it's only a matter of time that we are on the chopping block too.
It's gonna be
well, I don't think it's a matter of time. I think they're showing their hand. They're directing exactly what they are going to be doing. I mean, the young lady, I forget where it was, but they snatched her up off. Thank God there was footage of it, because
Boston.
It was in Boston. Correct. Thanks. In Boston, they approached her right off campus as she was getting ready to go on campus. "Quote unquote" federal agents that were masked up did not identify themselves originally when they came up on her. And I mean, anybody would be terrified. Like, she looked like she was being kidnapped. It looked like a scene from a hostage movie.
Right.
And what makes it worse is Rubio goes on TV saying, "Oh, how they've denied her visa." One, why wouldn't you inform her that you've revoked her visa previous to doing this?
Right.
That just shows you that they didn't have any good intent when they did this. They did this as propaganda. This is how this administration is going to be working moving forward. And this is why the conversation that we've had earlier in the year about us walking with our papers is going to be so important now. As I've stated before, I'm a naturalized citizen. I was naturalized at the age of 17. They're doing this to people that have legal green cards, that have visas, that have student visas, and they're revoking them without any type of notification. You're supposed to, if you're getting notification from the government, you typically get it as a mailed United States Postal Service document. So you have it, you're being notified. You're not going to get notified via email. You're not going to be notified via any other type of mail. It's going to come in the mail. All U.S. governments send letters out to you when they're notifying you of anything.
Mm-hmm.
But to snatch someone up off the street in broad daylight when other people see this, and then you don't identify yourself until after the fact, one, that is unconstitutional, and it's to stoke fear in people.
That's the whole point.
I mean,
and she was leaving her apartment because she was ending her fast for Ramadan.
Yes.
And so when you they approached her like that, first of all, going back to when did they revoke her visa? After they captured her or before?
Right.
See,
more than likely, because
I would think they did it afterwards, right?
He probably did it right there live on TV.
Right. I think they operate like that because that man walked up to her with a hoodie on, a black hoodie on. You know the wrong person. You step up like that. You know.
Oh,
that's crazy. And I want, as we're watching this, to remember Kent State.
Yeah.
Remember Kent State. For any person who is American, who doesn't believe that it just can happen to any of us, go back and remember Kent State. And there are other schools that you can remember where simply because they were protesting, they died.
Yeah.
Hold on, Ron, put Kimmy's comment back on the screen. That's so important, what we're talking about. I can see real kidnappers using this tactical. And it's so true because now you're giving people the playbook on what to do. You can have someone come up to anyone on the street and say, I'm a federal government, because they didn't show any ID, and put them in a van and go away from them, and you never see them again. The U.S. government is giving people a playbook.
They had the report last week of the fake ICE vehicles. Yeah, people going around with fake ICE vehicles. And so I can see, trafficking women, capturing women and doing all sorts of things through this. And of course, they're like, oh, no, it's not us. But people are using that tactic. They're walking up to people and grabbing them out off the street. You don't know what these people are going to do. It's horrible. It's crazy.
There's a lot of bad people out there. Mm-hmm. And, but again, fascists always start with the low-hanging fruit.
Right.
They go after what they consider the people at the bottom. They go after, you see the progression here. Weeks ago, it was the Palestinian student, and then, because he was protesting in Columbia University, and they swoop him up and take him away. Let me even go back before that. The first thing was demonizing trans people. Mm-hmm. So you keep what they keep doing is they keep chipping away with the use of hate and identity policies and fighting against people. And it's dangerous because, again, it's like the old, I'm paraphrasing. First, they came from my neighbor, down that way, down the block, down the road. Then they came for the neighbor across the street. Then they came for the neighbor next door. And through it all, I said nothing.
Right.
I said nothing. And then when they came for me, there was no one else to speak.
Yeah.
And that's where we all are in this country. People are now, there are people waking up. But again, like I shared with Gwendolyn and some other friends, is that until there's millions of people in the street, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Because you have a population of 300 plus million Americans. Until at least 10% of Americans are on the streets fighting for other people, is not going to change.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
I want to add to that. Sorry, go ahead, Elise.
No, go ahead. I was going to say we met the moment of the quote that I like to share with people from CAST. By the time they realized what they had done, it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Like people saying, "I wish I wouldn't have voted," but the problem is that you did. The problem is that you did, and you know who I hold accountable. Lean to the right side. This is the Supreme Court that created this monster.
Yes,
they did.
So let me just add on to to add on to that, they're coming for other people. Like Rachel Maddow had reported last night, and I'm probably going to mix them up, but there were two additional. There was a Russian who fled Russia, came here for asylum, and then there was, I believe, it was an Iranian scientist that was here that had spoken up against their regimes. The U.S. has them in custody and plans to send them back to their countries of origin. They're going to be killed when they go back.
They're going to be killed.
Yes.
But this is what they're doing.
This is the point. Cruelty is the point.
Yes.
The mega brains, the mega people, it is the cruelty. I mean, right now what's going viral is, what's her name? The person that's over. What's her name?
Kristi Noem.
Yes, the one that killed the dog. The dog killer.
Kristi Noem.
Yes, the dog killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's calling her by her correct name.
He's a dog killer.
He's a dog killer.
The one that not only killed the dog but killed the goat. I don't know, but the thing is, she is profiling in front of all of these inmates that they've captured. I want to say captured, because we don't even, because you don't know. Not all those people are terrorists, and the nerve of them to call them terrorists. A lot of them have not even committed. We don't know if they committed crimes. Maybe there's 2 or 3 that did, but we don't know. We know that all of them committed crimes because there's no due process.
They don't know.
Yep.
And I keep telling you, I keep telling people, understand this. The crime that they committed, and everybody's not paying attention, is being here illegally. Period. They lied when they told these people they were going to go after the violent criminals.
Yes.
They didn't let them help them understand that you, in our minds, even though it's not a federal offense.
Yes.
They're treating them all the same. And for her to be standing there with men in a cage with no shirts on.
Yes.
And
but here's the thing,
with her Rolex watch, or someone told me her watch was like $350,000.
That video that she did, and she did it in 2 different places. There is actual photographic evidence that was done back when the Nazis had the prisoners, the Jews, behind walls. There's a side-by-side of that. So here's the thing: none of the stuff that they're doing is original. They have playbooks that they can use, and they're doing it because they know it stokes fear. The fact that this country is allowing the United States to act like Nazi Germany is crazy to me. We always said that we would never ever allow this to happen in the world again, and we are the ones that are doing and perpetrating these acts of atrocities against people.
Yeah,
I think it's a state of disbelief is what it is, right? Because you have people who had already checked out, who didn't believe that their vote made a difference or that their voice makes a difference. And then you have those who have been waiting for their moment because they couldn't take the L from the Civil War. And then you have people who are just complacent because it could just never happen. But you never say never, right? Like, don't we talk about never saying never? So here we are. So things are now happening, but you're still at a place of, well, they will never go that far. Surely that could never happen. No, he won't try that. Okay, well, that's happening. So at what point do you decide I have to now get up? Now, I want to make sure I'm clear about this. It's not like, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. It's not like Black folks put us here. We've already seen all this shit before. Been there, done that. And that's not the people who have to get up and actually start saying something. That's not who needs to be out on these streets doing these marches. That's the fact of the matter. You have people who have enjoyed a certain amount of privilege and they're just like, no, that can never happen. Like, it just could never. But you're sitting there and you're watching it. Now, the guy who filmed the young lady getting snatched up, as I told Ron, people are approaching me in my face. I'd probably be in jail because I'm fighting somebody. We're not just going to be like, okay, and who are you? Because you got, you can't get in my space like that. Right. But you're going to have to get to a point. Well, you have to be inconvenient. I'm happy that he filmed it, but he also just filmed it. And we're at a place where people will see shot in the street and just keep on driving because I'm not getting involved in that. That's where we are. It's a horrible isolationist mentality that, well, it's not my concern. That's not my business. I'm a 70s baby. Everything that happened on the street was our business. That's what it is. That's so true. People need to get out and march and say something. They don't look like me. No offense, but they don't.
Ooh. And that comment was in my head. Thank you for putting it on there, B-Bro, because that was my thought. Is because there's a large population of them not saying anything apart is because they're helping them steal the land over in Palestine. They're having auctions of people's property in synagogues over here, which is sad to me. But at the end of the day, it will impact them as well. No one's gonna be unharmed in all of this. And let me tell y'all, I woke up and my husband is always reading the paper. And then once he finished reading this particular thing to me, I was like, what's the brightest color I can put on that's in my wardrobe this morning? Because I'm gonna need this bright color on my So the reason I had this color on is because it's something I've been talking to people about and sharing even on this platform. I have shared that they're going to come for our museum. It's in the Washington Post today.
There we go.
Yep. I saw that.
And I have been saying that ever since.
We said it. We've been saying it. We've been saying it.
Since he walked through the door, he was going to come for that. Mm-hmm. And the person who has the Smithsonian is Lonnie Bunch. He was the first head of that particular museum, of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, just in case people don't know what I'm talking about. He's also the head of the Smithsonian now. I don't know how long he's going to be there. My husband's like, oh, they worried about that job. I was like, I'm not worried about his job because I don't think he's going to have it long. Mm-hmm. But the problem is we know that that's happening. And he's talking about the things the truth is in the museum.
Yes.
And in the same article, they talk about they want to go find these Confederate statues and things that were removed and put them back. Why? Why do you want to put that back? Why is that important to you? For people who made it their job to fight a war that they lost. They lost the battle, but they won the war because they got all their property back and got compensated for. They got reparations for our ancestors they no longer owned, and $300 per person. So people need to understand former enslavers got reparations. And now they fought a war to try to, because they wanted us to still be enslaved now.
That's right.
They want to look for their monuments. I hope they all sank them somewhere. They want to look for the monuments and have them put them back up and all of this crazy stuff. But at the same time, you're looking at the content of what's in there. Anti-American, anti-who American? It's the truth. That's why we don't have national history standards in this country, because people like these fragile, quote unquote, heterosexual white men don't like the truth.
And as you were saying, here it is, ABC News. Trump signed an executive order behind closed doors on Thursday, behind closed doors, see the secrecy there, directing federal agencies and the Smithsonian to eliminate what the order calls divisive and anti-American content from museums and national parks, sources said. The order, called Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History, directed the lies, exactly. Directed the Vice President and the Secretary of Interior to restore federal parks, monuments, memorials, and statues that have been improperly removed or changed in the last 5 years to perpetuate a false division of history or improperly minimize or disparage certain historical figures or events. The order also directed Vice President J.D. Vance, who is a member of the Smithsonian Board of Regents, to work to eliminate what it claims are improper, divisive, or anti-American ideology from the Smithsonian and Institute, consisting of 21 museums and 14 education and research centers, as well as the National Zoo in Washington, D.C.
So that's how do you even define what's anti-American?
So here's
anything that talks the truth.
Gwendolyn,
Anything that ain't white.
museum in DC?
I've never been to the museum. I've never been to the zoo.
Stop. How many of you all have been to the museum in DC?
Never.
I've been to the museum in DC. Yeah.
The new one.
I'm talking about the Museum of African American History.
Oh yes, I've been there. Yes.
Okay. So what they're talking about, Ron, specific. I'm gonna be real specific.
Yes.
All of that part that comes from the basement all the way up to Emmett Till.
Yes.
What they're going for. Where the
Because
Black
it's the real
Panthers,
talk.
Emmett Till, all of that part right there from the basement all the way before you get to the when you come out to the well where you can
Yes.
press. They're talking about everything on those levels. That's what they're
Yes.
talking about. All the entertainment stuff. Oh, that's gonna be cool.
Everything down below.
But anything below there, that's what they're talking about.
Because it's the
I told my
change.
husband, if there's a march for that, I'm gonna hit the streets.
Yes.
Because if we don't fight for anything, we have to fight for the truth for our people.
Yeah.
Because and as I shared before, get your books, get that information, because they're going to destroy everything. They control the internet. They're going to destroy all the truth.
Yeah.
And so if we ever decided that we needed to fight, that's what you fight for. And that's not the only museum that has some stuff. The American Museum has truth in it. So they're going to erase all the truth. And there's a Native American museum here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're going to go after all of those things. I don't know what they're going to do with the Holocaust Museum, because that's over there. But they may receive some federal funding. And we receive some federal funding.
Yes.
But I think that that's the thing that probably most heated me, because it's that we are distracted by some other stuff. And we tend to participate in the distraction. Please, folks, stop repeating over and over anything about Jasmine on these things and then criticizing her, because that's what I'm so sick of Black folks doing that. Whoopi Goldberg, I'm tired of her too. But anyway, that's a different story. While you're distracted by all of that, this is what they're doing in the middle of the night. This is what they're doing.
Yep.
You want to eradicate Black, Indigenous America, the Americans, those of us who particularly are the descendants of formerly enslaved people. They want to get rid of all of your history.
Well, they're getting rid of the books, and they've gotten rid of the books. They've gotten rid of the books in schools. So now anywhere that there's history about Blacks or anyone other than non-white people, they're trying to remove it.
Right. They're going to go through the books.
And people don't understand, if you take a moment also to take a look at the road to apartheid, like if you go, just kind of like spend some time and Google it and look at it. When I was living in South Africa for a short period of time, it's amazing how they dismantled, because South Africa wasn't always an apartheid. It started in the 50s. I mean, this was not something that was like a part of their history from hundreds of years. This was something that started in the 50s and then accelerated, but how they dismantled the government within months. Same thing with Hitler. And I know I'm not sure if he's allowed to say his name, but when you look at the history books, again, I always say, look at the history books of the 19, 20, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. If you can just look at the history over in Germany. And it took Hitler 11 months, or the chancellor, as they called him back then, 11 months to totally dismantle the democracy of Germany. And 11 months, it was over.
And the truth is, let's look at the truth. All of our branches of government right now are compromised. Every one of them. There is no balance there. None. Because of who they control. And I had people, like, even the Lincoln Project got this wrong when they played the part about the woman from what's her name, the one from the seat from New York. What's her name, Ron?
Gillibrand?
No. The congressional seat, the one that he appointed, she was going to be one of them. Stefanik or something like that?
Stefanik, yeah, Stefanik.
So the Lincoln Project got it wrong. They were laughing. It wasn't about her qualifications. They didn't want to lose the seat.
They didn't want to lose that seat.
They don't know what's going to happen in Florida on Tuesday. And so that's where people need to focus. What's going to happen in Florida on Tuesday? They didn't want to lose that seat. So
That's
she
right.
agreed to step away from that so that they could keep the seat, because they've been holding her back, her appointment back, because of the votes.
It's exactly what I said when the
Oh,
news came across.
yes.
So that's why they've been holding it back. So the decision was made so that they kept the seat. It had nothing to do with and that was the one time when I was like, they got this wrong. They got this wrong. They pulled the plug because they didn't want to lose the seat.
They didn't want to lose the seat.
Right.
As soon as the headline came across yesterday,
right.
I said they are terrified. This takes me to my next.
Because
they are terrified. Here we go.
Yep.
Republicans on the run, because this is what they're doing. Because they saw that seat. Because also remember, when a person leaves their seat, the Republican leaves the seat, and you are under a Democratic governor,
right?
The appointment is going to be a Democrat.
Yep.
So Hochul would put a Democrat in that position, and until the election.
Now,
then the election, and then they will decide on who wins that seat from Stefanik.
Was she Senate or House?
She is I think she's the House.
She's House. So there would have been an election.
Yes, there would be an election.
And they knew that they would lose the seat through the election.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is the results of some of the two elections that happened recently this week, Democrats were winning. Sorry, they were winning by huge margins. You know,
in Pennsylvania, the one in Pennsylvania, and the other one in what was the other place? Help me out.
I forget, but it did come in afterwards.
It was definitely
they were winning by 70 something points. It
was a swing.
Margins, which is crazy. Yeah,
a big swing. That was a 15% win in that district for Trump, and it went all the way over to Democrats.
The thing that bothers me is that we've been talking about this. People have been talking about this. What the Republicans and Trump were planning to do before coming into office. Why does it take for you to actually see him destroying all the things and it affecting you before you decide, oh no, we can't do this? I didn't know. Yes, you did. People have been saying
what he was going to do.
Can I add something that Ron and I shared the other day? And this is a good old sage advice. Remember how we talked about, Ron? Like my mother said it, my grandmother said it. If you build a ditch for somebody else, build one for you too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. Again, they voted to hurt Black and brown bodies, people who didn't look like them, because it can never happen to me. Well, when you built that ditch, you should have built yours too, because now you're sitting in it.
Right.
You're lying in that ditch. That's all that is.
And so even when I wish people would stop circulating their mournful stories. I don't care about how many of his supporters lost their job. Good for them. I'm not going to comment on them. I'm not going to like your post when you put that on there, because that's major and minor things for me. We got other things to be talking about, especially as Black people. I'm not going to.
And you got what you deserve.
I don't care about that.
You got what you voted for.
That's your distraction. You voted for this because, like all of them are saying in there, I didn't think it was going to happen to me. She didn't think that they were going. West Virginia people, did not think that he was going to come through there and fire them. They didn't think it. But you know what? You're in a federal government installation. You didn't think that was going to happen to you. Oh, that's why you do it, because. And then no one's going to help you. No one's feeling sorry for you. I don't. And why are they being interviewed over and over again? We don't care about that. I don't.
And we do it again.
I'm speak for myself. I don't care about that.
And they would do it again. They were like, "Well, I think I would vote."
But they will still vote for him.
Vote differently.
Yes, they still will vote for him. That's the crazy part.
The part is, some of them are saying
when you are in a cult, when you're in a cult, you do cult things.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes.
And they know, and now they're looking at it and say, but he said he didn't know anything about Project 2025. All of this is Project 2025.
Now, everything is from page to page. Project 2025.
Page. Every time I
heard exactly. Put the book.
If you're in the building, make sure you hit the like.
It's in the book.
I see. Let's see what the community is saying here. We went in. That was I see here. Here we go. I think where we left off here. Honestly, we need. Lisa says, honestly, we need to start taking stuff out to protect it. As in, we need
out of the museum.
Out of the museum, exactly. We need the fruit of Islam out front, protecting that museum. I am definitely a face person. Going back to Anthony says George Orwell's 1984 in real time.
Absolutely.
And I see here, Kimmy says the statue of Martin Luther King. You think? Yeah,
I thought about that too. It's like, that's a big statue.
But they're gonna get rid of it. They're gonna destroy everything. This is, if no one has gotten the light bulb on, they can't see what's been happening over the last 2 months. Is everything Black and of color is being eliminated, and mainly Black. And every single thing in this country they've been working on. DEI is another name for Black. It's not. They're not even interested in DEI. They don't even know what DEI means. Most of these people don't even know what DEI is. They just think of it as Black.
And that's what they think too. That's all they think. And that's why the woman didn't understand she was
the
DEI.
White women.
Yes.
The white women didn't understand that. So you lose your job, but you didn't understand that you are DEI.
DEI.
And you benefited the most. White women benefited the most from all of these programs, and you didn't understand that.
Lisa
you didn't understand that. Poor white people benefited from that. J.D. Vance went to school for that because he was hillbilly trash, right? So you benefited from that.
They all benefited. DEI. But they made it it was a code. Again, notice again with these people, they take our words, or they take the words that are in mainstream, and then they change it. Like, remember woke? Now you don't hear woke anymore. You don't hear anyone talking about woke anymore, right?
Listen,
it's very rare. But they took that woke because woke meant, in their minds, Black.
Every generation has its own. I'm going to say some words here that, I'm going to use it. We were niggas first. Then we were Black people. We were others. We were
colored.
Woke. We were colored. Now we're DEI. So it doesn't matter. It's just for every generation has their own word that they use to describe us. And DEI is what they use now.
DEI.
And I just want to reiterate, and I like the common video of the two Asian men who were talking about this. The reason that they're able to be here and do what they do is because of Black people and their sacrifice.
Yes.
Right.
Everyone who has something that's not a white, quote unquote, heterosexual man with some money has it because of Black people, formerly enslaved Black people and their descendants. That's why you have the access that you have. Your parents, relatives were able to come from those countries and things because of the fight that was put together by Black people. That's who helped you do all those things. You are able to get the free and appropriate public education because of what happened during Reconstruction with Black legislators who said everyone deserved that education. And they made it so. And so everyone who wants to say, to align with this, and what's interesting, because y'all know when I'm passionate, maybe y'all haven't seen me as passionate as I am right now. But when you align yourself, they've identified right now they're manipulating and continue to use Asians. All their discrimination against whites and Asians. Asian folk, if you watch this at all, please hear this. You are merely a tool. They're going to move you out of the way as well. This is not about you or for you. You are merely an instrument, because they don't want to say, because they feel like if they just said white people alone, and since they consider you the model minority, and they feel like you have the most opportunity to be to the proximity of whiteness, they continue to manipulate you mentally. So they keep throwing you up there when they're talking about education. When at this present time, you and the white folks occupy the majority of the spots at these top PWI schools. So please stop. Please stop being used. Asian people, wake up, because guess what? When you're out there and you turn around because you've allowed yourself to be used and manipulated, you're going to be the end of that poem. You're going to turn around and look for us. You're going to look for the rest of the people to help you, and we're not going to be there because they've already mistreated us while you have sat there and allowed yourself to think that you are by some way going to be at the top of the test, and you're not. You're in the same bucket with the rest of us.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's all about white supremacy.
Pretty much.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's all white supremacy, eliminating, erasing people of color, every kind. It is, again, look at Germany. Look at what's going on in Hungary right now. Look at what happened in Venezuela, which happened just recently and still continues. Look at what's happening around the globe. Look at what's happening in Germany now. Look at what's happening around the country. Again, the birth rate, and I didn't plan to go this way, but it still goes with the Republicans on the run, because this is a white supremacy movement. And white people are having less babies in the world.
Yep.
So it's less of them. And not only that, they are dying out. So they're dying and they're not having babies. And so the ones that are left are freaking out. This is the crazy, not all white people. Again, I always say not all white people, but there's a segment of the white population that is running in fear, because again, they think we will do, or people of color in the world, which the majority of the world is people of color. They think the people of color will do to them what they did to us.
Right.
And they don't realize that most people of color don't live in that realm. When you look at history now, there's been conquerings in history. There's been some situations, but you have never seen an extinction, just extincting people's nationalities, cultures. Then the white Europeans that came and moved across the planet and took land, took religions, took their land, brainwashed. It just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
What they did.
And what they
colonization was something brutal. People think, just the colonizers. No, the colonizers were brutal.
Right.
Brutal. Cut hands off, cut legs off. You were a bad slave. Cut off your arm. You were a bad slave. Cutting off your leg.
Give them diseases.
And
blankets.
Yeah. Blankets. Native Americans going with the Trail of Tears, but then saying, we're going to give you some blankets to go along.
Right.
So they didn't make it a lot of them die because of smallpox.
Right. And it's
kill them off.
It's that birth dearth. They know that they have their numbers are decreasing, and by 2040 is the predicted time when they would not be the majority in control. And so it's those people at the top who are manipulated, as they say, and it's poor white people that are getting manipulated like everybody else because they don't understand.
That's right, because they don't like poor white people either.
Right. They're not fighting for you. They're fighting for them. They're fighting for themselves, the ones who have all the money. That's who they're fighting for. And it's 1%. Hard to right. And I continue to say that's exactly why they killed Fred Hampton, because he got them to understand that when he was in Chicago, that they were in the same place, that they stood and held the same spot, and it was the rich people who were trying to control stuff, and they were using them to do the control. And so
once he linked up with poor people, white poor people, once they linked together, the Black community and the poor white community linked together, that's when he became a threat.
Right.
That's why they had to kill him.
Right. And he was only 21, but
go back. Say that again, Elise. He was 20.
He was only 21.
We think of these again. We think of all these heroes as older men. No,
he was only 21.
They were in their 20s. That's why the biggest change that's going to happen is going to come from our younger population, the 20-year-olds. And this is why you are distracted.
It's always been the case.
That's why they're worried about you just enjoying your little TikTok and being absorbed by everything else, because they know the power is in you. The power is in the young generation. 19, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Martin Luther King was 26.
But I'm going to say this, is the power is with them. But we have to help activate that.
Yes.
Because they are being distracted by that.
So
they
much
are distracted
distraction.
about all those things, and I know people always say, "Oh, the young people." I said, but I look at how many young people voted for this man.
A lot.
How many young people voted for this man? That's why I said, and I saw Gwendolyn's face, but it's true, sis. It's true, sis. If we want to activate our children, we gonna have to kind of set some fires. Like I was setting my granddaughter on fire at the dinner table yesterday. But anyway, we're gonna have to
He was in a blaze.
set some fires, because it's just, and I don't know if I'm an overthinker or what I am, but I think in a different realm, right? I think in the realm of the what will happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So I'm more of a proactive thinker than a reactive thinker.
Yeah.
I hate for people to post stuff and for me to react to, because I've already been proactive enough to tell you that it was coming. You were unconcerned enough and complacent enough not to do the research and believe it, right? And so as we think, that's where our rage comes from, because we are forward thinking. And when people finally catch up, we're so upset because they've already made the mistakes that we told them about. So I think we do have to figure out, how do we help them? How do we help each other not be distracted? Like, I refuse to, I don't care if one of you all posted. If you post something and there's a crying person on there that don't look like me because they lost something and they voted that way, I'm not going to like that. I'm telling you now, I'm not going to like the post. I'm not going to like your story. I'm just going to let it go by as if I did not see it.
That part.
Because we cannot
I do the same thing.
Right. Because they want their publicity in any form to them. It's what they want. So if you come out and you say something about this man or those people, they don't care. As long as you keep them in rotation, as long as you keep them visible. They're narcissistic. They hate not being seen, but they want to be seen no matter how you put it out there.
Well, you read my mind, Miss Elise.
Yeah.
You read my mind. I do believe that there is power with younger people. Completely get it. However, they are distracted. Sorry, not sorry. But also too, they have this. They haven't seen a lot of examples of what their power can do.
Yeah.
Now, there were some young people in my family who didn't vote. God bless me. I worked hard. Until right now, I worked really hard, and I still couldn't get through to them. But it's like I said before, this generation has never had to work for anything. They can show up to, say, field day and not win and still get a ribbon because they showed up.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Their mentality is not where we are. We had to actually like win in kickball and in the relay race to get our ribbons. So we actually earned them.
Yeah.
They don't understand the idea of having to work for something. That's the reality, right? I showed up. I should get a prize for showing up. So the idea of understanding your power and voice, when a lot of them didn't even get like a civics class or understand how things work, it's going to take some work from those who do know, from those who are truly invested in the community and educating. I'm not talking to the gatekeepers, because there are some gatekeepers. These are people who really want to see community thrive and understand that if my boat rises with this tide, so is your boat. We can all rise together. So will there be some work? There's going to be some work there, but we have seen how these young kids get indoctrinated at a very young age. This is all media and video.
Well, it's
with
like
the conversation that I had with my granddaughter last night. What I told her is this at the table. I said, so, and her mother was sitting there. I said, so let me tell you what has happened. The two of you all have been enabled because you think you have something. I said, when I say make up the bed, you don't make up the bed. Now, if I locked the door and told you had to sleep on this floor right here with nothing, until that bed was made, you start making your bed. I said, because you don't have anything. I said, all you have that you personally bought for when your uncle gifted you some money to buy some cheap clothes. Those are yours. We put those in the hallway with you. I said, but you need to understand that you have to do something. You have to start working. And I said, and what these people are doing is to shrink your access to things. And I said, what am I talking about? She said, college. I said, absolutely. College and whatever. And I said, but they're going to have jobs for you. I said, because right now, as they eliminate the immigrants, they're going to need somebody in the fields.
Hello.
Florida.
Graduate next June. You're gonna have two options. You're gonna either be going to school or you're gonna have a job. And I don't
If
know
you can afford to go to school.
I said it's not gonna pay you enough now to live anywhere.
That's
and I
right.
had her look up before she went to bed how much an average 1-bedroom apartment cost in DC. That was her assignment for me last night. I said, because you need to know the reality. I said, and you're not going to be able to afford that. I said, however, now when you graduate next year and all you have is a job, y'all may need to find an apartment because we would have served our time. But the reality,
rolling back the labor laws in Florida to put these kids out in the field so they don't have the migrant workers.
Work overnight.
Yes,
you have a 14-year-old working overnight on a school night.
Is that not? I said, haven't we done this before? Did we not? Absolutely. But you know what? Exploitation. There are no bounds. There are no bounds, and you're going to need a working class of people who are not educated to keep this working. So,
which is exactly what I told her. I said they need you not to be educated. They have some jobs. And I said, you're gonna be in the fields or someplace. And I said, no, and I said for girls, I said I'm sorry, and maybe other people too. I said they'll find a job that you can do that you may not have to be in the field, but you may not want to do that either.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I told her exactly what that job was.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my last question of the day, and I want to throw it out at you.
Sorry about that hijacking.
No, yeah, not at all. No, you giving us wisdom because again, young
bombs.
people. Well, I was going to just add on to what you were saying is that on Roland last night, the gentleman, one of the speakers, he was saying, he goes, you know what? And he said, not that I'm happy about what's going on, but he says, in some ways, I welcome it. He says, and the reason why is because he says so many young people, so many people our age, our generation and younger, don't know what it was like to live in the era before the civil rights. And most of us have been we have the benefit of having civil rights and having all the things that were fought for. But now it's easy to lose what you never knew what you had. And a lot of folks, like you're saying about I look at the young people in my family and they're oblivious. They don't know. It's like, oh, and it's not bothering them. Nothing is bothering. It's like, oh, just another day in the neighborhood. But when they come for you, and now you can't go to school, you have no. We are witnessing the modern book burning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
So if you thought about Germany and the book burning, you're like, oh, they didn't burn the books in the street. They're burning the books, and they're burning, and the whole of the books was education, intellectual, the arts. That was the whole point.
Yep.
So you
and
take
that's what they're doing
funding.
now.
Right.
Library funding. But let me tell you this. Let me tell you this real quick. My husband also mentioned this. So one of the things in that bill around elections that he wants to put out about elections, it may not just be that your real ID is what required. You may have to have a passport.
Yes.
And not that we all know not everybody has a passport.
Most people
really
don't.
Need to start thinking about getting passports. Get your passport. Just
I say it all the time.
Vote or escape. One or the other. You either vote or escape this. But people need to think about that because that's something that's in that piece that he wrote. Is that?
Yeah. Yep.
And these people also don't think because you have your passport that they're going to honor it. Because these people, pain, the cruelty is the point.
I'm so sorry.
That is their rule. Cruelty is the point. And so these people will have no respect for anything. There was a time you respected papers, you respected the Constitution, you were like, oh, we can't get away with this.
Yeah.
No, these people, you will have your passport, but at least you'll have it. But then these ICE agents will just take it, rip it up.
They will take it and rip it up. Yes. Yeah.
And then say, oh, he didn't have his papers.
Copies. Keep your digital copies.
Keep your digital copies.
That's right. You got to keep digital. We got to think outside the box. But here's my next question. Because I heard this on one of the shows during the week. Are they trying to kill us?
Yeah.
When you think about getting rid of the CDC, FDA, all of the agencies that are helping, that were designed to help the American people, right? Environmentals, food, everything is out to destroy us, to kill us.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just saying, this is my question to you in the community. Are they trying to kill us? I know
Yes.
you're not supposed to say the kill word, I think, online.
Is that what they say?
Unlife us.
They've been trying to unalive us since the end of the Civil War.
I mean,
are they? I mean, when you look at the evidence around
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
is this,
I mean,
is
measles
this
is
part of the
spreading.
plan?
Measles was something that can be easily prevented. It started in Texas and now it's in 3 states. What people are doing is listening to R.F. Kennedy when he says, stock up on vitamin A. Now they're finding out that these kids are coming in with liver failure or liver disease because
of the
they've got
vitamin
an
A.
abundance of vitamin A because it does not pass out your body like other vitamins do.
Right.
This man is killing people. He's done it in other countries, and now he's brought it on shore to do it here in this country.
And then most people, like when it comes to supplements, do not understand that not all of those supplements go out of your body like that. They build up and become toxic. And then if you don't take them right, there's some you have to eat food with. And so they're not giving instructions on what to do. And then it's absolutely insane. And we have to.
They're killing their babies.
More of us growing food. If you live in an apartment, get some pots. Plant you some food in some pots. You can grow greens in a pot. They have these towers now. The ones that are the hydro towers. You can grow your lettuce and everything right there in those hydro towers. It has a light. You don't have to have it outside. You can get those. You can grow your own food. And I think that's it. And we've always adapted as people, which is why it's so hard for them to do everything. And then if you know some older people, start asking them about those remedies, those things that they used to have all of us take that we hated when we were small.
Back in the day, our parents and grandparents.
Yeah, so that's my question to you guys. I mean, the evidence to me is evident. I think everywhere you turn, every single thing has been to destroy the American people. You can't say any of this decision making is to make you great. Not one. Nothing is designed to make any of us great, because in their minds, the 1%, or if you want to say the 1%, they see the 99% as just cattle, just to be used, to be discarded.
And if they go
ahead, Gwen. Miss Gwendolyn.
She's thinking of it. She got it.
She's getting her thought.
Okay, because I mean, just in terms of logics, because you know how Virgos are. At what point, Miss Elise knows, at what point, you guys say to yourself, I get how the 1% see those who are 99 just as like working class. They come, they go, I could care less. But it's the people in the 99. And there's a certain set of people who have wanted and who want to be part of the 1%.
Yes. Right.
These are the folks, we see them all over social media talking about how you can get your 6-figure business, your 7-figure business. And it's this over messaging of hyper consumerism, right? It's the Joneses, it's the Kardashians. They want to be there so much so that they idolize these people who some of them haven't even created anything. They just bought something that some other brilliant person created. So at what point
Elon Musk,
do you think that you're so brilliant that the doctor who went to school for XY years knows nothing? The parents whose kid died here from measles said, she's in a better place. I'd do it all over again. Now, in my world, I think it's called child abuse, something close to some other crime. But like, in what world, as a parent who loves their kid, would you ever want to put them in pain? And then say, nope, if she died from measles, that's just what it was supposed to be. It was eradicated in 2020, was it not? Like, had we not, we were done with that disease. We were done with it.
It was done.
But they're so smart, they're stupid.
Yeah.
And now it's spreading all over the country.
So when you say, are they trying to kill us? There's a couple who are just doing it on their own. You know,
Yeah.
because that's just
because they bought into it. They bought
yes.
into the rhetoric. They bought into,
Yep.
all of those things, those shots and things were killing kids. Look, I am 68 years old. None of those shots did anything to me, and I took them all. We didn't have a choice.
It protected us.
I've had my boosters
We
and everything
all
else.
had to have it to get into school. We could not get into school without these
You
shots.
didn't have your shots, right?
But also, may I say something on that? This is when the country was in the mindset of protecting the collective.
Yeah.
So now you have people that's about me. It's all about me. It's all about my child. It's all about this. And they don't realize we live in the world of collectives. Again, same thing with the dumb person that's in charge of the country. He sees tariffs as something that's beneficial to the country, but he's too stupid to realize that every car that's made in this country is made with parts from all the other countries.
Global citizens.
We are global citizens. The world in the 1960s and 40s and back to the 1870s and 1865, that world does not exist. We are all connected. We all need each other. Yes, Gwendolyn.
Well, I don't want to push us along because I know some of us got to get to work.
Yes,
but
Mama.
To end on a positive note,
yes.
as I just hijack Ron, showed me like we finna end this bitch. He's one of them preachers. I don't want to hold you, but so there was a guy who took a picture of me back in January, and because of the interwebs, I found it. Someone tagged me in that shot, and when I say I love them, I love them. So we are all connected. We're all connected. Whether you think it impacts you or not, you should care that someone is getting snatched up off the street and that someone has lost their civil rights. It concerns you because we're all global citizens.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what the 99% has to realize.
Connected.
The 99% has to realize that.
They got to wake up. They got to wake up. We are, again, what's going on in Africa and now all the people that, because we are not giving them aid, that we're not helping them. Anything that happens overseas will eventually happen here.
Yes.
Hello, yeah. COVID.
Yeah.
COVID.
And now you don't have access to WHO information anymore. The World Health Organization, the CDC.
Yeah. And they stopped all COVID stuff.
Right. You don't have any of that.
We are all global citizens.
And there's another world pandemic. We're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in
we
trouble.
We won't know about it till it hits us. But it's for this country. Watch the states.
If you're in Florida,
see what they happen. Tennessee, Florida, Texas,
Wisconsin,
see what's going on and what they're doing with their legislature. Watch it, see what's happening, because that's where they're piloting all of the testing all of their things. Just keep watching it, and please, somebody get those Democrats down to Florida this weekend.
That's right. Go door to door and sit down in the red area in that district. All those people that are voting this weekend. I'm saying on Tuesday coming up. Yeah, and this is where the Democrats need to wake the F up. They need to wake the F up. I know you guys will say the color word, but I can't say the color word.
You can say it.
I'm not used to having that as one of my colorful metaphors.
Live on the edge. It's time to get inconvenient, Ron. It's time to do it.
Yeah.
These folks need to. The Democrats should be going door to door tonight, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They should not go without sleep. They need to go into those red areas and go door to door and tell people what is going on and give them the truth. What's wrong with giving them the truth? You have the truth, because they're not getting it from Fox. They're not getting it from the other squiddly little other news station. All those stations those are just right-wing propaganda.
State media, right? State-run media.
State-run media. Wake the F up, y'all. Wake it up.
Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Yeah, fuck.
Come on. We got you, Ron.
We
can be your angry translators.
You can be angry translators. love it. Anyway, guys, thank you. This was great. I'm so glad we had this time together. This was great. This is the weekend. Those that want to join me in the evening, let me just give me my little banners here. And then next we're going to start doing some also, I'm doing these banners here, but also if you want to advertise on our platform, make sure you just reach out, DM me. But we have tonight is our wonderful game night. So we'll be doing our game night for our Twitch at night. Let me just get this banner off here. Hold on a second. Got all you guys banners here. Hold on a second. There we go. Let me get that banner off. Boop. And there we go. Okay.
You all see me pop on live in the evening. You know I'm fired up about something.
Yeah, exactly. You were like on fire. So we do that. We have game night tonight. Is usually that I come on 11:30. We go to the Wordle game. We have so much fun. We even have someone here from Sweden playing the game, and so we have a good time together. And we do connections, and we do also spelling bee, and we talk about just stuff. We don't talk politics at night. We just hang out and just have a good time. But also, if you just wanted to do a little pitch here for myself, if you are interested in, make sure you want to stay connected with me, make sure you join the email listing, and you can just click on the QR code and it'll take you to my webpage to do that, because we don't know how long we'll have the internet the way we have it. So yeah. I still would like to contact you and stay in connection with you by email. So make sure you sign up for my email, and also I'll be able to send some things to you, sporadically. Also, as an event photographer, you can find me as an event photographer here in New York City, but I do travel across the country to photograph your corporate event or your private event. So make sure you can do that. And also, thank you for the Patreon folks for this whole week, really doing your job and helping support this. If you want to become a Patreon member to support what we do here, just go to patreon.com and look for Ron Lewis Photos, and you can sign up and support what we do here every day. And there we have it. And then that is it. I think any last words, ladies and gent? Oh, let me get this off the screen. That would help, right? There we go. We need a technical person. On mute. Gwendolyn's on mute. Go ahead, Gwendolyn. Wake up. Wait, turn your mute off.
I said you had those Baptist pastor vibes.
Lock you inside the building. Lock you in the building. Give me the offering.
Oh, that was.
Oh my God.
Oh, lock the
door. Let's not start.
Oh
Wrap it up.
Lock the doors. I need $100,000. I need $100. I need 1,000. Anyway, moving right along. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. Again, I'll see you guys tonight, those that want to join us in our Twitch at night. And I'll see you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you, Elise. Thank you, Chris Edwards, my brother in crime. And love you all. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.